Okay, everybody, welcome to a brand new feature on the channel. This is something we're calling the Monday Morning Commute. This is episode 1, and so I thought it'd be a lot of fun every week just to try to drop some random thoughts on whatever's going on in the auto industry, tell you a little bit also about what's going on with our channel. And, what we're going to cover today in episode 1, let me switch out, get the shades on because it's pretty bright today. We're going to talk about Jeep because there's a whole lot going on with Jeep. And obviously, this commute is done in the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 4xe, so it's an appropriate place to start. But before we jump into Jeep, let me touch base real quick on what's been going on with the channel. The last 3 episodes have been really different. We started out with a 1-year review of the Highland 60 Expedition trailer, so go check that out. Casey did a deep dive on a brand new product for overlanding or for just keeping stuff cool when you're out with your kids at soccer games and baseball tournaments on the weekend. That was the EcoFlow 12-volt fridge, the Glacier. So we did a deep dive on that. And then the biggest thing we just dropped, which was last week, was a full hour with the Kia EV9 all-electric EV, and we had an absolute blast reviewing that car. We were really, really impressed with it. We kind of, positioned that review as, did Kia establish the benchmark for family crossover EVs? And really encourage you to go check that out, subscribe to the channel, like that video, all that good stuff. But let's talk about Jeep. Jeep has been all over the place, guys. Jeep has a product problem. They appear to have leadership that's fully in transition. And then they've been zigzagging all over the place when it comes to brand and what they want to do with brand. And let's start there. So if you remember a while back when Jeep introduced the Wagoneer and the Grand Wagoneer, they came out and they kind of said, well, we're going to split these products off, or break these products off into their own brand, the Wagoneer nameplate. And that was going to give them the opportunity to maybe step a little bit away from the pure off-road image of Jeep and move into that premium and that luxury segment. And so those products had a lot of those features in them. They're really, really nice. And they tried to maintain some of that off-road heritage, which was great. I was really encouraged by the strategy. I did a full video on this where basically they were trying to mimic that Range Rover Land Rover split. And I thought it was going to give an iconic nameplate the opportunity to grow in volume and move into a little bit different segment. And, Jeep's played in the premium segment before with some special editions and some higher trim packages on Grand Cherokee and the like. And then a couple months back, their leadership came out and said, oh, scratch that. We're not going to do that anymore. The future Wagoneer products will be branded as Jeep. Okay. Well, last month they came out and they unveiled the Wagoneer S, the all-electric Jeep platform. And there's really, there's some Easter eggs with the name Jeep on them, but that sucker was branded Wagoneer, okay? Interior, exterior. And so I'm kind of left wondering, well, what is the strategy? Which way are you going? Or are you just trying to straddle it right down the middle for now until you figure out what works in the market? I don't know, but it looks confused, it looks erratic, and it may start to make sense when we start talking about leadership changes, because there's been executive movement all over the place. There's been some retirements with long-time Jeep personnel, folks who really had an influence on the brand over the last 10, 20, 30 years. And so, kind of points to maybe there's just some disagreement internally on what to do with this iconic brand, one that, for the last 5-6 years, it had really picked up a lot of steam, but now seems to be stalling quite a bit. And, that gets us to point number 3, which is products. Jeep has a lot of product on dealer lots right now. Wranglers are starting to see discounts. The Gladiator is certainly a problem. I'm not really sure what's going on with Grand Cherokee and then some of the other products further down the price structure for them. Some of the things they borrowed from Fiat, for example, and rebranded as Jeep. But they definitely have a product problem. I think more than anything, they have a pricing problem. because during the pandemic and in the inventory squeeze and the supply chain problems that they were having, the prices just kept going up and up, and people were still buying, especially Wrangler, right? It seemed like there was no limit to what they could stuff in a Wrangler and charge a really high premium for it. The 392s, 4xEs like this one were well over 70,000, getting close to $75,000 MSRP, offset a little bit, right, with tax credits and the like, and really, really strong lease deals. But there's no doubt that sticker shock has probably set in with Jeep. And so they've got a problem there, one, price. Number two, I think they have a powertrain problem. And it's not, if you stand still, the competition is going to catch up and they're going to pass you. And just in the last couple of months and maybe the last 2 years, really, everybody else is stuffing higher power, more efficient powertrains in their trucks and in their off-road oriented SUVs. And on the commute, I try to keep the roof open. That works great when we're driving around town, but now that we're about to pop on the highway, we're going to go ahead and shut it just so you guys can don't have to put up with all that wind noise. Shout out to the Sky One Touch roof. It's incredible in the Jeep. So yeah, powertrain is becoming a problem. Ford, just introduced a 3-liter engine into the Ford Ranger Raptor, which has a lot of power. GMC Chevy has the turbocharged 4 in the Colorado, and that's a really good engine. And then lo and behold, Toyota comes along, and they go stuffing into Tacoma and 4Runner and Land Cruiser. A really nice turbocharged 4 and a hybrid system as well is available, and a lot of power and really improved fuel efficiency in those compared to what Jeep has currently in their lineup. Everybody knows the 3.6 liter Pentastar V, is become a really reliable engine. It has become one. All right, it's been around forever. They've ironed out a lot of the issues, but down on power compared to the competition, and certainly down on fuel economy. And then you've got the 2-liter Turbo 4, which has frankly had a ton of issues, whether it was in a standalone version of the Jeep or in the 4xE as well. And, Jeep has to do something to address this. They're getting rid of the 392 because of emissions and fuel economy. They've got to provide more power. They really need to provide more reliability and improve fuel economy for their off-road vehicles. And we don't know what that is right now. We're all sitting around waiting to find out. And 2025 model year is supposed to be when we find this out. And they've come and told us that Gladiator is getting 4xE in 2025. They confirmed that. And we've been told for a long time that Wrangler would see improvements in the 4xE platform for 2025. So that tells us something is about to change, but we don't know what it is. And usually by this time in a model year, we're getting ready to see that changeover at the factory in the summer and start to see deliveries in the fall, and we have no idea what those power plant changes are. And that makes me wonder if all of these competitive moves has challenged the thinking within Jeep and Stellantis, and they're delaying because they're making additional changes or engineering changes or product planning changes, and we may not get what we want or what we want to see when we want to see it. What do we want to see? Well, obviously, I drive a 4xE. I've off-roaded with this. I've overlanded with this. I've towed with this thing. I'm doing the commute in it, okay? I've got a 22-mile round-trip commute, and the supposed range of the 4xE platform is right there, depending on the wind and depending on the temperature on your commute, 22 to 24 miles. So some days I'm pulling back into the driveway at home right as the engine kicks on. Some days I make it, and some days I'm 2 miles short. But 90% of my driving to and from work is on electric. I'd still like more range. I'd still love to see something well over 30, right? And so that's going to be a bigger battery pack than 17 kilowatt hour battery pack that's in it, or a more efficient pack, or both. More efficient motors to take advantage of a slightly larger pack. The other thing you'd really like to see is more combined power or let's just say more power out of the non-electric portion of the hybrid system. The 2-liter turbo, once you're off of electric, it kind of sucks. I mean, it's adequate, but it's really loud. It is really noisy to pull off any sort of movement. Okay. Anytime that battery goes away, I sort of dread it because this loud engine and all these cooling fans kick on, and if you're driving around town, it's just not a great experience. This thing is great when you have battery and you have either electric or you have hybrid capability. It's fantastic. The other thing I'd like to see in the 4xe platform is enhanced ability to use that pack camping or powering equipment, if I so choose. That's what I want to see. And I think we're going to get that because I don't think you can roll out a Gladiator pickup truck in 4xe guys without having that. I think you're going to have a work-capable truck like you're seeing all the inverter packages and additional outlets in the back of almost every new truck product, including Tacoma, that you can run power tools off of, you can run fridges, you could run microwaves, you could run hair dryers, whatever it is you want, or somebody that's with you wants to take with them either to a job site or to a camping trip. And right now, Jeep doesn't have that. Supposedly in the 2024, I haven't seen it with the PowerBox, they have a camp mode, which sort of optimizes the settings of the 4xe so that you can use that power. You plug in the PowerBox to the charging port, and it's basically an inverter box, and you can run extension cords off of that or power items off of that. It comes with all kinds of limitations from what I've read. I just don't think it was well executed. And with the Gladiator coming along, I think we are going to get a PowerPoint port in the bed that's going to make a lot more sense. And hopefully the software will match where we get good power control features when we're not in motion and we want to be able to preserve that power and use that power at some location. So those are the things that I'm really looking for. Beyond 2025, we know we have the range extender coming in Ram 1500, and now we're being told we're also going to see that in Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer, which I think is really cool. The devil's in the details with that, but man, for folks who really do a lot of towing or they do a lot of overlanding, when they're not doing a daily commute, that platform just looks incredible, right? So you're going to get a large fuel tank, you're going to have a V6 generator on board, and then you're going to have a very large battery pack, with like 140 miles of electric range. It's probably going to be really expensive, but it just sounds super cool. It's still a little far out for Jeep, but at least for Jeep Wrangler or Gladiator, far out into the future, it'll be a slightly modified, but we are going to start to see it in Ram 1500, and then we're going to see it in Grand Wagoneer and Wagoneer, which that's awesome. That's just great. Those aren't really off-road platforms. They're off-road capable, but they're not off-road platforms. So for folks like us that do camping and overlanding, we'll have to wait a little bit longer for that type of technology to filter into the platform. So that's kind of my thoughts on Jeep right out of the gate for the Monday morning commute. We're pretty much to work now, so we're going to shut it down. But make sure that you subscribe to the channel because I'm going to try to do this every week. Hit that notification bell so it pops up and you can listen to it on your way to work. And then down in the comments, just drop what kind of topics would you like to cover? What do you want to know about that I can sit here and blabber on about for about 10, 15 minutes every week? And we'll try to do it. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is Romer Reviews.